done.
We will go ahead and start an official 2 hours later than normal. We're not going to get through much this time. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Session 1 problems.
It's not your fault. Okay. Introduction. A mere 20 miles from the portside capital of Cobbleshoe, the city of Guildkeep began life some 300 years ago as a sort of university campus, becoming the preeminent place of learning on Crescent Island and indeed in all of the Northlands. Guildkeep now is second only to the capital in size and importance. Here in Guildkeep, the technological and arcane are married together to build a bright future for all. In the time that you have been here, you will have gotten used to the skyscrapers that seem to grow taller with each passing year, the sky docks at which the spired floating towns and cities of the Cairo come and go as they meander across the continents, the robust public transit in the form of elevated cable cars. Skyships fly in from the north and south and across the Alcahest Bay beyond the hills to the east. And all manner of gadgets and new technologies are out there for all to see in this engineering school turned industrial city. The smell of arcane steam wafts around you at every step, and the finest minds in Arenarca are living and breathing their dreams just out of sight, behind every door and window.
What does arcane steam smell like?
It smells like steam, but far more arcane. Mr. Tibbles, Donnie, and Kibo, you arrive at Ivy Court, a complex of live-in... Complex? Makes it sound psychological. A complex of live-in laboratories where some of the greatest minds of Crescent work and live. You make your way to Workshop 3141, where you know the famed artificer Thelonious Tinkerbreath makes their home.
Tinklebreath.
Tinker, not Tinklebreath.
He's
Tinklebreath.
Tinkleberg.
Tinkleberg!
You arrive roughly at the same time, the time indicated to you by your correspondence with Professor Tinkerbreath. What do the others see when you arrive? Basically describe yourselves, assholes.
Nosies.
I'll go first if no one else wants to. I just don't want to be that guy.
Go ahead.
All right.
Nobody else does either, so...
So what you see approaching is a brass automaton in the shape of a human man. They're in a very crisp and clean mix of like formal and like mercenary wear, in that it's clearly a new, fresh mercenary suit of some sort. They carry on their back. They have a big warhammer. And in their arm, they carry a very large shield that is clearly too big to be strapped on their back, so they're constantly carrying it. And then on their upper chest, there is an emblem that has the symbol of a warhammer standing straight up, with a saying on it that is in a language that I don't think anyone can read.
That seems pretty likely. What languages do people speak?
I speak Common and Elvish, which I should probably change to Sylvan.
That makes more sense for your build.
Yes.
What about your character?
Common, Draconic, and it says Vidalcan on my thing, but it really should say Cairo.
There's a lot of chitters and squeals.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just realized it probably would be Draconic, the language, huh? That would be the equivalent of Latin?
It would in fact be an archaic version of the commonly spoken language, which would be really difficult to discern for a person who speaks Common. Like,
Yeah.
Old Common versus Common is like Old English versus English.
Okay.
It really is a very different language.
Okay.
So what you see as you're contemplating Old Common, the language, you do see Sam's character.
You see about a 5 foot tall humanoid who has about 1.5 foot long ears sticking straight up in the air with a jaunty little fez in between them. He has a small pair of spectacles on his snout, and you notice that he keeps picking up his pocket watch out of his pocket, looking at it, and then putting it back into his pocket and mumbling to himself. Something along the lines of, "Oh, no, this won't do at all. I have other appointments."
And last but certainly not least... Yes, you. You're the only one left, you nerd. You pine cone.
Well,
You
that's
see
true love.
a quite tall ginger tabaxi with tall pointy ears, tabby markings on his face. He's wearing a many-pocketed vest, which you can see has different kinds of engineering tools in it, also wearing an engineering belt. And he has the badge that you may or may not recognize as the symbol of the... We didn't actually decide on a name for the... It's the Guild of Engineers.
The engineering guild. The city of Guildkeep lives up to its name. There are all sorts of guilds, one for every profession, and sometimes more than one, depending on how common it is. There is a General Engineers Guild that is very prominent and very powerful within the city.
Yeah.
You recognize that symbol.
Engineer with a capital E.
Yes. We know how Mr. Tibbles acts when he reaches the door. How does Donnie react to a robot and a rabbit person standing in front of the door to the workshop that he needs to be going to right now?
A raised eyebrow and a shrug, and then he knocks on the door of Tank, who has summoned him to this job.
Oh, yes, excuse me. I have already knocked upon this door approximately 3 times in 6-second intervals, and he has not yet opened it.
Oh, that's great for you.
The robot automaton, which frankly you could even assume was probably just like a statue because it did not move even as you guys approached, just turns to you goes, "Greetings, I am Kiltron Block Death 8462, but go by the more colloquial Kibo. It is a pleasure to be working with you all. Please keep 6 feet apart."
Nice to meet you, Kibo. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna go inside now.
Kibo, is it?
Yes.
It's an interesting name.
It is true that nobody answers the knocking, but that's not all that unusual. Have you met Thelonious Tinkerbreath before?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you've met, Donnie has met them before, and Donnie knows they don't answer the door.
Yeah, the knock is a courtesy.
Gotcha. So
the knock is a, "Hey, dumbass, put your fucking pants on."
You got it. All right. So you knock, and you wait, and then...
I open the door.
And then you just open the door. It's not locked.
Of course it's not locked.
The door opens.
Fucking academics.
You enter the workshop, which smells heavily of pungent chemicals and smoke.
Chemies.
Chemicals bubble away in alchemical glasses, decanters, alembics. It's uncertain if the liquids are boiling or if the bubbles come from some sort of reaction that's going on. Against one wall, off to your right, there is a stack of various pillows and couch cushions. It seems to have been piled in a rough wall, as though someone might need to dive behind it in a hurry, just in case. In the back corner, there is a statue of a turtle. Detailed, but not very realistic looking. Kind of seems out of place in and among the papers and the books and the general mess.
Strong walls, thin ceilings.
Yes, exactly. In a chair sits a stoic elf, clad in leathers and sipping at some tea. He looks up as you approach.
Ost is definitely very out of place here. He's about almost 6 foot tall, medium build elf, although all you can really see is his face and his hands as far as skin goes, and even that is dirty. He's wearing furs, a lot of browns, a lot of greens. And for those of you who can smell, it's not unpleasant nature smell. It's more like freshly tilled earth.
Mm-hmm. Just a little whiff of that good, wet, post-rain soil smell.
Yes.
That you just get a brief whiff of, because afterwards it's overpowered by, like, Aqua Fortis.
Mr. Tibbles, his whiskers kind of shake a little bit. He very much smells it.
Yeah, Donnie's nose twitch is.
The other occupant of the room is a tiny kobold, clad in a hodgepodge of leather aprons and rough-spun clothing. Every square inch of this clothing seems covered in pockets with various tools and implements sticking out of them. As the kobold swivels to meet your gaze, looking up from their work at stations of beakers, you can see they have some sort of magnifying glass attached to their headwear, which magnifies their dragon eyes to a comical extent.
What, you never heard of knocking before?
Dude, we knocked like 5 times.
Ah,
Fucking answer. I heard you got a job for me.
a job for a whole bunch of you.
Yeah, I assumed that based on the whole bunch of them showing up.
I must admit, I was rather curious that you summoned me here by name. I gathered that you were not particularly fond of me, but I am pleased to be invited this time.
Listen, Tibbles, I know we've had our differences in the past, but you gotta help me out with this, all right? I'm really in a bind.
Mr. Tinkerbreath, I would be more than happy to accommodate any request, especially as you have given me so much information and knowledge about your unusual occupation.
You are getting so much side-eye from Donnie right now.
I'm not gonna lie, it's not Kibo, it's just Dan. Dan is terrified.
Dan is terrified.
I don't know why.
He did do that.
Don't understand. I'm being perfectly pleasant. It's just me.
In point of fact, actually, I can go ahead
Is it
and...
me? Am I the drama?
Oh yes, I'm
I?
the drama.
Am I the drama?
Is it me who's out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
Hey, Oust. That's your name, right?
It's pronounced Ost.
Right. Yeah, no one cares. Listen, these are the guys that I was telling you about. They're gonna help us with the problem.
Oh, well, let me just stop you right there. It's your problem that I'm helping a friend with. Now, I know you're a big shot around here, but I'm gonna have to ask you to be a little bit more polite.
I'm being perfectly polite.
Honestly, Mr. Ost, this is the most pleasant interaction I have had with Mr. Tinkerbreath.
They kind of like put like a clawed hand out and they say,
See? I'm a ray of frickin' sunshine.
That is incorrect. You are actually in fact a kobold.
Oh, well done. Yeah, the new models are looking good.
Hey, Tink, how'd your last secretary work out?
She left. She left me.
Shocking.
Well, also, I couldn't afford to pay her anymore.
They do expect to be paid.
Yeah, it's obnoxious.
It's a little too close to home. That's a little too close to home.
okay,
Art
so
imitates life.
Professor Tinkerbreath starts patting down their pockets. Just, he pulls a frog out of one and everything like that, pulls magnesium out of the other, throws it into the corner of the room, and it flares up and then dies. And then finally they pull out like a little stoppered glass that's kind of glowing and a kind of green color.
Oh,
And they toss it to Donnie.
Donnie catches it. Oh, actually, you know what?
I'm not making you do this. I want you to know that. I just want that for the record. I'm not making you roll for this, but you're.
What would that be?
That's probably a dexterity save.
Okay. I mean, straight dex or like sleight of hand? They're the same.
Sleight of hand is to do something without noticing.
Okay, dex.
Without people noticing. What'd you get?
22.
Oh yeah, you just pluck it out of the air between two of your little tabaxi claws there, and it's just sitting perfectly right in between them.
I just wanted an excuse to throw my potion bottle dice.
They're very cool.
They are very cool.
All right, that right there is pyrite.
Yeah, I know. How'd you get some?
A person has their ways.
Donnie is holding it at arm's length from himself.
Oh, it's not that bad. It's harmless. It's harmless in its inert state.
Oh, okay. You didn't say it was inert.
Yeah. Pyrite is a miracle substance that is found very rarely in nature. What it can do, oh man, what are the limits of what it can do? It can do one thing.
Like radium.
Arcane engines. They work when you put fire magics onto objects and you let that fire magic bleed over time to create force. It's how all of our little combustion engines work, and it's the wave of the future!
It is very interesting, Mr. Dinklebell.
But here's the problem. It takes a really long time and a lot of effort and a lot of energy to power up an object with that level of fire magics. You can't do it in a big scale. We're very blessed in this city with the technology that we have. That stuff in that bottle could change all that. If evocation magics take to it like a water to a frog or some other kind of allegory.
Yeah, but what about steam? Play the fire magic to the steam, and then the steam does the work. And because water has a higher specific energy, it doesn't take as much fire magic to get the job done. But then, of course, you gotta have a whole big fucking tank of water. You got big high pressure. The higher ups don't like the steam. Personally, I think it's a feature, not a bug.
So during this conversation, Mr. Tibbles has prestidigitation on his hands, and there's just steam coming from them, and he's like, steam.
They expect that it's just gonna be magic all the way down, but like...
I appreciate the illustration of Donnie's points.
Yeah, very nice.
Can't you just summon the steam?
Can't you just summon the steam? I like
You
this
just
kid.
come-
Oh,
look at this
kid. Look, this is basic equivalence here. You can't get out what you don't put in. Steam has a phenomenal amount of power. A phenomenal amount of power in water. Water is a fantastic substance.
Yes.
This guy knows all about water. Am I right? Am I right, you chemmy? You damn fucking chemmy. Yo, fire's easy. Fire's easy.
Fire is easy. And it switches, and now he's holding fire in his hand.
Yeah. But if you want to summon steam, you want to summon the amount of force that's gonna move like, I don't even know, what, a fucking train, a fucking blimp? That's gonna fucking kill you, man. You don't put out what you don't put in.
Unless you have pyrite.
And we're back to the pyrite.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, it's a miracle substance. It just doesn't appear often enough in nature for us to use it in a wide scale. But I have found a location out in the wilderness. It's an old cave by some old dump called Amber Sands. It's not on the coast there. That place has been deserted for years, but the cave is good. So I sent some folks down there to inspect it and figure out what was going on. Everybody had left the area.
Yeah.
There was all stories of people dying. And wouldn't you know it, the people I sent there, they fucking died.
Maybe because of the fucking pyrite.
No, the pyrite is fine.
Maybe they swam away.
Tell him, elf guy, Oust, tell him.
Oh, you been there?
I was there.
Okay.
My name is Ost.
Hello, Mr. Ost.
Yeah. So that's that glowing stuff there, right?
Yeah. You didn't see any of it while you were down there, did you?
Oh, I saw some glowing. Let me tell you, if something in nature's glowing, you shouldn't get close to it.
That's what I say.
You know what else was glowing in those mines? The bugs. The bugs that exploded, taking out your men, caving it in.
Mr. Tibble's hands are glowing.
Well, that puts another little new spin on fireflies, don't you think?
These aren't no...
Mr. Ost, do you think that they are possibly, magic bugs?
This kid magic bugs.
Well, I never been one for magic, but all I know is that it came up, it latched on, and it exploded something fierce.
In my travels, I've never encountered a bug that explodes upon contact. Less adapted by magical means.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem evolutionary advantageous, or what you say. I mean, I'm not a squishy scientist by any means, but like...
So if something is destroying itself, then that means it's got something that it's protecting, which means that the farther you go into those mines, the bigger the explosions are gonna get until you find whatever is mothering the hive.
Or that's how they breed. I mean, like, radium flowers, the glowy things. You touch them and they go poof. There was that trend of, I don't even know, 100 years back or so, where all the ladies were using it for glowy lipstick and shit.
Yeah, they died.
Yeah, I know. Poor Marie Curie. Rest in peace.
But that's why I need you
God
guys.
bless her name.
We got the person who knows about nature. We got the person who knows about keeping a building up above you when potentially there's explosions going on.
I mean, I know a few more things than that, but yeah.
Mr. Tinkersmith, I don't believe I'm any of those people you just described.
Well, I got interrupted
you
in the middle
work
of
once as a civil engineer, and they stick you in that box for the rest of your fucking life, man.
You consider getting out of the box.
That's where he goes to the bathroom.
I was gonna say it's comfy in there, but you know what? Fuck you, Tink.
We got the person who knows about magic, and we've got this guy who's the beef.
Greetings.
That's an old favor from a gentleman that I worked with in the Endless Robot Death Squad.
Ooh.
You get that signed in triplicate? You got a coupon for that?
Incorrect. He did not sign in triplicate. He signed in triplicate.
That's even better.
Indeed.
I don't know. I don't really trust golems.
I am not a golem. I am Kibo.
No, you're made out of metal.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, so common misconception, golems powered by the words what in their head. Robots, or automatons, colloquially known as robots, made out of metal, and they are powered by arcane magics and strict adherence to the rules that are in their head, as opposed to golems, which are powered by religious words that are in their head.
Yeah, all of the things that you just said just sounded really the same to me.
Okay, so golems, the way you defeat golems are by smashing them into a billion pieces and plucking out the words in their head. Robots, the way you defeat them are by setting them a logical paradox and then leaving them alone for the next 5,000 years where they try to figure it the fuck out.
Hey, ixnay on the paradox pays.
Oh, as long as you don't actually tell it to them like directly, that's fine. But less patch like got rid of that, right? Right? Am I right, Kibo? You're fine. Kibo, you're fine, right? Kibo.
Oh no, you broke it. Oh no.
You got another coupon, right?
Thank you for enjoying my joke. Yes, I am trying to say a logical paradox.
Did they finally put out Release 53? They got a HumaSense now? I love it.
Ah.
It is the Bleeding Edge. It was released yesterday.
Wow, fresh off the presses.
Indeed.
Okay, so Thelonious Tinkersmith goes over to this table right here, and just kind of like in a big, broad sweep, just sweeps a whole bunch of the papers that are on it, which mostly seems to be envelopes, some of which are open, some of which are not, onto the floor.
Can I use prestidigitation to gust of wind to have them land neatly on the floor?
Sure. If that's a thing that's important to you, I promise you Thelonious Tinkerbreath is not going to notice.
It is important to me, thank you.
But as they do so, Donnie actually recognizes the symbol that's on the front of those papers. They are the symbol. It's the symbol of the Directorate of Intellectual Sciences Trust, which is kind of a big moving power in the region. They're the ones basically that offer all of the loans to the students to complete their doctorates. You actually probably owe them some money.
I'm on a payment plan.
Yeah, everybody's on a payment plan. That's a whole thing. So yeah, you recognize that. You do recognize that one of them says final notice on it. And you maybe you have some insight into why Professor Thelonious Tinkerbreath is so strapped for cash.
Yeah, I'm going to politely kick them from their nice, neat pile into a slightly more cluttered pile underneath the table.
PvP already?
As I walk over to
Tinkerbreath.
Mr.
to
Tibbles
take
just
and
gasps.
Look, he knows about him. He doesn't need him shoved in his face. It's not actually final notice until they start sending agents, and at that point, the fun begins.
He was just making sure that his laboratory is kept in meticulous condition so that he may conduct his arcane studies.
I love this voice so much.
You okay. Look, he's got a system.
Hey, they don't know.
Thelonious, Tinkerbreath spreads a map onto the table and kind of gives an indication of roughly where the location of what was formerly the town of Amber Sands. It's
I
actually
don't swim. Get me the fuck out of here.
over here on the coast.
Ah, don't worry about it. It's up in the hills above the beach.
I know my token is in the middle of the bay for whatever reason.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't think it actually is. I think it's just my. It's a ghost token from the map.
Yep. Uh-huh.
So, our friend Mr. Oust here just spent a little bit of time down there. Rescued a poor kid. I got caught up in all the whole thing, and unfortunately the rest of the expedition was lost. But that's okay. We can always get more people. That's why I've got you. So there's a cave down there. I'd like for you to clean it out, figure out what's going on with these bugs, and reclaim some of the pyrite. Once I get the pyrite, I'm gonna be on Easy Street.
You want me to take these three into the very deadly mines, clear it up for you, just report back. Nothing done, nothing seen.
Well, make it as safe as possible for the future expeditions. And there's actually 4 of you, 4 others, not 3. Brother!
You see the as you look around, he's kind of calling to the back of the room. The turtle statue slowly begins to move tectonically. Yes, I was having a nap.
This is Brother Chell. He's an accomplished healer. He should be able to stick your bits back together if you get blown up.
Brother Challenge, it's so great to speak with you again. I value your wisdom and your counsel.
Well, I appreciate that. Many folks seem to find my presence somewhat unnerving or upsetting in some way. And after a short period of time, mere terse conversation, they began to become antsy and seem to want to vacate the premises and terminate future communications with me.
You know, Brother Shell, I do feel a similar effect.
Tank, who the fuck did you piss off to get assigned this dude?
What? He's great!
Yeah, okay, buddy.
Brother Shell has actually assisted Mr. Tinkersmith in a number of his experiments that I have observed and made note of. Mostly keeping all fingers and all toes attached to the body at all times.
Okay, well, that is important.
Yes. Thelonious Tinkersmith
and Tinkersmith's father, and his grandfather.
His great-grandfather, you've been in...
And
associated
his
with the family for a very long time. We get it.
And this way is okay.
I'm sorry. I just loved it.
I told you there was. If I made you guys an NPC healer, there was gonna be a catch.
I just wanted to keep talking.
I don't.
Hey, remember I was the one who loved Mr. Raxo? I love Brother Shell.
Like, I can tell your intent is to annoy us, and I'm just like, my character would just not care, and I'm just gonna let you keep talking.
Yeah, just like this going on, and Kibo just standing impassively, like from one object
Are you
to another.
kidding? Mr.
you know?
Tibbles has had so many conversations with Brother Shell because they alienate people the same way.
Donnie wants to punch a wall.
Johnny is a wall puncher, kind of.
Or scratch a wall, I guess.
Brother Chell looks knowingly at Mr. Tibbles and says, "All conversations are but one conversation that never ends.
Oh my
It
fucking god.
continues onward. I feel as though it's been the same conversation every." He just keeps.
Brother Chell, you are so profound, and I appreciate your counsel whenever I am given it.
So anyway, Tink, let's talk splits. So given the situation, we know we are not getting paid up front. I'm not even gonna insult you by talking hazard pay. But given the situation with the pyrite and the blah, 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 so normal guild rates for a mission of retrieval discovery with a significant hazard rating, I know, it would be something like 30-70. I'm thinking more like 35-40. What are you thinking here?
Sorry, I really am going to have to insist on a 50-50 split.
Oh, wow. Going right for the... Okay.
Listen, if it'll get you there and back again as fast as you can, I'm willing to come up on that.
Okay.
Once this pirate comes in, the loneliest Tinkersmith is gonna be on Easy Street. But it needs to come flowing in.
So are we talking equal shares all around then?
I am willing to go there.
Wow.
Yes.
Holy fuck, you're desperate,
Are you willing
buddy.
to shake on that?
Mr. Tinkersmith has already signed documents with the Endless Robot Death Squad about his agreement in splitting with them.
Oh, well, that's your business. I'm talking about,
I'm willing to shake on anything, really.
tinker to tinker, if I want to be flip about it.
Or Tinker to Tibbles?
Listen, there's not a whole lot of people.
His name is not Tinkers. Wait. Ignore me. Yeah, it is. That's me misunderstanding a character's name.
It is a pun, a play on words, where Tinker is his name, and Tinker is also a, slang term for an engineer or a person who works on mechanics.
Apologies, Mr. Kibo. It is a nickname similar to your nickname, Kibo.
So when Katie explains the idea of a pun, Kibo just stares at her for a few seconds, and then, and the head just tilts.
That's okay, buddy. It's coming in off 44. Whenever they can they're building a lexicon, it's gonna take them fucking forever. I keep on telling them, look, get the next generation in there, and they're like, they pollute the code, and I'm like, dude, that's what you fucking want. You want flexibility, and they're like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, machine learning, it's the way of the future, and they're like, that's black fucking magic, and I'm like, okay, buddy, when you put garbage in, you get garbage out.
Listen, okay.
Sorry.
I enjoy having a nice, fun conversation, a little bit of light, easy banter. Me too. But we're on a bit of a timetable here.
No, I get you. Well, it's been too long. Let's go get some, gabagool, and we can talk shop some other time.
Yeah, thank you.
What were you saying, Dan?
I was just gonna say I can engage in light banter if need be.
I am afraid, though, we will need some proper documentation before we undertake this endeavor.
What? A handshake's not good enough for you?
No.
I've drawn up a document. I've dealt with the private sector before. I know how it has to be.
Is that what, like, the last fucking thing that your secretary did before she
Yes, it is.
Listen, we don't talk about Mildred.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Mildred.
Yes, Mildred was the one, in fact, who informed me that this was coming, so I'm very well versed in this contract. Yes, if I could review, please.
Yeah, Thelonious Tinkerbreath has all of that stuff written up. It's pretty much what was said, along with a little caveat about potential death and dismemberment, but that's pretty much standard for contracts of an adventuring nature. Yes, they have to white out a little bit and stuff and like do some little
Wait, 50-50
initials and
him
stuff.
or 50-50 Tim and us, or equal shares all around? 'Cause
Oh,
that's
this
very
is only
different.
my negotiations. Are we working as a group?
Okay.
Yes, then equal shares it should be.
I mean, we're all independent contractors
Yes.
here.
Yes. The important thing is, I've got the deed to the actual land, and then you guys clear it out, and then we're good.
How'd you get a hold of that?
Nobody wanted it.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
So Adam, question: any chance that some of those papers that got scattered would be this deed?
There's no way that you would know that without actually going through the papers, unfortunately.
Can I go through the papers?
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just neatening these up while I'm over here.
It's awfully rude to go through somebody's student loan letters.
Okay, what exactly do you want to do? Because you're not going to be able to just go through the papers directly in front of everybody.
I am neatening up the papers, but in the process of neatening them up so that they're a stack again, I just want to casually look at them, and I'm going to place them back on the corner of the table so that they're in a nice, neat stack.
Sure. Well, yeah, you do see the logo of the DIS Trust, with which being sort of in the area for a while, you probably recognize exactly what their whole deal is. Sort of a controversial group and everything like that. You're catching a lot of words like remiss and gosh, what are words that have to do with that? Foreclose and close down and immediate, critical, termination, that
Your
sort of
loans
thing.
have been sold to Freddie Mac. So it's gonna come for your kneecaps.
Increasingly aggressive language as you're going through. If you want to get, yeah, that's basically roughly what you get. You also notice that it's largely it's the same sort of vibe, kind of going back, and then you see them. They're almost going back years and stuff.
Petition.
Yep.
Pause. Can Freddie Mac and Sally Mae be NPC enforcers?
I like that a
Love
lot.
it.
We'll talk.
Thanks.
Okay. So that's the vibe you're getting. You don't see anything about a deed, though.
Sorry, those were bothering me, and it really would have annoyed me if I had to leave on a top secret mission that you're sending us on, and these would have just been casually scattered across your floor. You really should pay Mildred.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
I still say you don't mess with someone's system.
Too right, Brother Cal. Too right.
All right. So, we got all that going on. Let me
check my notes.
Friend Tinkerbreath, what happened to your voice?
Sorry, I have a touch of tonsillitis.
It comes and it goes.
All right.
Okay, so if you guys agree to it, you guys sign the document, I'll send you on your way. I've got use of a skiff. You guys can use that to get to the location. Shouldn't take you like a couple of days like this, Rube.
Kind of jerks their thumb at Ost.
So, once again, you know what? I don't like signing nothing. I don't find it necessary as long as there has been an agreement.
Don't know how to write, huh? Backwoods types.
Yeah, but like, if there's no documentation, then did it really happen? Also, like, if you die and your next of kin wants to take your share, then they're not gonna have any proof that you went on this so-and-so mission.
There is proof. I have memory of it.
I believe that Mr. Oust is one of those honorable types.
Okay, yeah, but we know the freaking Endless Death Squad versus Court of Crescent is still in contention. It's gone up to the Supreme Court, whatever. I don't know what's going to happen with it. But at the moment, legally, the memory of a member of the Endless Robot Death Squad cannot hold up in the court of law because reasons.
That might change. The lobbyists are on it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know. The paperwork is paperwork.
Well, that don't bother me much.
Mr. Oust, I respect your decision, and I will enforce it to the highest degree that I can, and I will just sign my name where your name should be.
Well, no, not quite, because there is one thing I want from you. All right, so you want me to go out and do this. Get my name right.
It has a very simple name.
On the guy, kobold vocal cords are a little bit futzy.
I like the idea that when he's like, get my name right into that pause, Kibo just slowly turns towards Tinkerbreath. He's like,
Now say it without all the screeching.
Asked.
That's probably the best you're gonna get, buddy.
Well, my fees just doubled, and I'm gonna walk out.
Wow.
I like this Mr. Oust character.
Oh
My fee has doubled as well. I walk out with him.
as seeing as all fees have doubled and you are in contract with the Endless Robot Death Squad that has agreed to an equal share of all things, it seems that my fee has also doubled. I turn and leave.
What the hell just happened?
I don't fucking know, but you equal shares doesn't mean. Oh my god. Oh my god.
How can you have double and equal share?
Why are you sending me in? Why didn't you just hire out engineers?
I guess because I wanted it to get done.
Sorry, that was me sneaking through.
No, you're right. You're right. But yeah.
So out of character on this, Ost really doesn't want a share. And that's something that he definitely would have discussed. There would be a fee, definitely, but he doesn't want a share.
Yep.
Because that would mean he'd have to come back.
I mean, like, fair.
I was just running with the joke. Sam set up the joke, and I'm like, well, we'll go with it.
This is more a note for future Adam, who's voice editing.
Editing, okay.
When Donnie breaks into incoherent babbling, that should be swearing in Cairo, and it should be pitched up like 3 octaves. But I don't want to destroy anybody's ears, this microphone, or my vocal cords.
Yeah, Cairo is basically like...
like cat chittering.
Okay, so you guys leave. You guys haven't really signed the contract, have you?
Oh, I'm still holding it.
Oh, you're still holding? You have the contract?
Yes.
That's right. And Ost is not signing the contract.
Donnie pre-signed it and sent it over by tube.
Cool. Yep. The pneumatic mail service that sort of dots throughout the city.
That checks
Yeah, it's super easy.
So I am actually making active edits to this contract.
In the sense of trying to do like a forgery?
No typos.
No. Adjusting the terms to suggest that Mr. Tibble should be the beneficiary of the bulk of
Yeah, if that's not notarized, it's not going
The
to hold
reward.
up at all.
Edit.
Excuse me, Mr. Kibo, sir. You happen to have one of those notarizing mechanisms within your...
I believe I
You
have...
can't hear this conversation.
I believe I have an equivalent, yes.
If you could mind stamping down at the bottom and making sure that these updates are reflected in your database for your payment schedules.
And so I'm going to take the document and just sort of like read it over. Like the eyes just kind of like wearing while I'm reading it. And then I'm just going to hold it up against the wall with one hand. And then just in a flash, just take out my hammer, slam it. And my hammer has a sign of the Endless Robot Death Squad on the flat side. And I just basically hit the document with my hammer,
Yeah,
basically
don't
crushing
waste
parts
that
of the
fucking
paper and probably
witness.
cracking the wall. And then I just wordlessly turn and give it back to, I'm not gonna lie, Sam, what's your character's name? Shit.
Mr. Tibbles.
Mr. Tibbles. And I just hand it back to Mr. Tibbles after just smashing my hammer against it. And there's sort of a dirt imprint of the Endless Robot Death Squad sigil on the paper. That's nowhere near a stamp, and even you know that this is going to be a hard sell.
I appreciate your assistance, Mr. Kibo. Mr. Ost, do you perhaps know of an alternate notary person?
No, I've gotta say, I have tried my damnedest to stay out of this city.
Respect that, Mr. Ost.
Now, if you'll excuse me, Ost is gonna go. I assume we're outside at this point.
Yeah, the three of you are outside. You guys all, like, very verbally and vocally left.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go around to the side of the building and
I know what
then
I
come
did.
back with a shovel. Now, I'll meet you at the entrance of town. And I'm gonna head off.
Friend Oust, may I ask a question before you go?
Nope, you cannot.
That might be problematic because if we're taking a skiff, the skiff is going to be leaving from the port. So the entrance to town, which one do you mean? Do you mean the sky entrance? Do you mean the footpath entrance? Do you mean the wheelie bird entrance? Like, come on.
Whichever one's closest to our destination.
Okay, so as the crow flies, look, we're meeting at the Skybird entrance because
It's to the north. It's to the northeast. I'm gonna go northeast.
but we're taking a skiff, so we gotta leave from the Skybird entrance because that's where the skiffs leave from.
Then I'll meet you there.
Okay, fabulous.
That's fun.
I think we're all going there now, so we might as well all go over together. While we're walking there, I'm getting myself a fucking coffee because I got a fucking headache.
As you guys are having this conversation, you hear, like, subtle movements behind you, and you realize that Brother Chell started walking across the room at the time that Ost stormed out, and he has only just now gotten to the door. And you can hear him saying, "And that's why my fee is also doubled."
Love you, Tank. Bye. Look, Shell, we gotta get you some fucking Heelys, buddy.
What?
They're awesome. They're these great
Are those? I'm sorry, I laughed so hard I farted a little.
They're sneakers that got wheels in the heels, hence the name Heelys. And you lean back in them and you roll.
You
Friend Johnny,
need
I have-
heels? He lifts a claw and his hand starts glowing.
I am going to do the same. I lift a paw and my hand starts to glow.
I mean, okay. I'm just
Yeah.
saying they could help you get going places faster.
Ost is gone, by the way. I am very sure that I will get there before you do.
Does Ost know where he's going?
Ost knows where he's going. Ost is, yeah.
Ost knows every way out of
Okay,
this
that's fair.
fucking city.
Ost knows the countryside extremely well. Does not know the city very well, but he can find his way out.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm getting coffee. I'm getting a pastry. Let's go to swing by Mary's. She's got a food truck that's on the way to Skiff. It's Thursday? Yeah, she'll still be there. Okay, let's go.
I apologize. I did not anticipate leaving town so quickly, so I will have to gather a few personal effects before meeting at the skiff.
Okay, well, we'll see. Well, yeah, we'll see you at the Skyport. Okay, bye.
Skyport confirmed. Thank you.
Bye.
Never caught his name.
Bye.
Hello.
Very well.
Friend Mr. Tibbles, do you need a guide for whatever things you need?
I appreciate the offer, Mr. Kibo. I do not. Perhaps you could escort Brother Chell. He seems to have some minor mobility issues. I don't know if those Healy contraptions are available. As you can tell, I I don't wear sneakers, so I'm afraid that young cat's options just simply won't work. But perhaps you can assist him with going to the skyport.
Understood. Friend Mr. Tibbles, though, I have a question.
Yes.
What are sneakers?
Excellent question. So apparently, from what I've been able to gather, sneakers are a form of clothing that are worn to encase the foot of a human person in order to effectively increase the ability to sneak around, which is
So no healing then.
exactly. And most curious is that most of these so-called sneakers that I found in the city actually make a loud squeak noise when you use them to walk across the cobblestones. So they're perfect. I do not understand how they're not magical.
They should call them squeakers. Yeah.
What an excellent idea, Brother Chell. Oh, I think that could be our next money-making opportunity after this particular situation.
Katie's dead.
So,
It's all in the timing.
did I answer your question, Mr. Kibo?
You did, thank you.
Okay, so what the fuck is going on with this party right now? We've got one guy who's just leaving the city. You're going to go get coffee and a pastry.
Yeah. A cappuccino and a Napita stuffed cannoli. It's funny because the family name of catnip is Napita Taria.
We got the 3 chuckle fucks. One of them is trying to commit forgery.
Yeah, so actually I am going to continue my forgery. So I have all of my personal effects on me right now. I'm going to find a legal notary to submit this contract. I think I'm going to need
What is happening?
a bribable notary.
Do you know somebody in town?
I have been there for quite a while, and I was hoping to head to the government district and do a little whistling.
Give a little whistle. Yeah, you can definitely do that. It's a little after 9 now. Do we want to call it here and then figure out what the fuck just happened later?
Well, that works for me. I'm like, I forgot about
think we could probably.
Forgot about time zones for a minute.
Yeah.
And I was like, yep, it is 6:11. What's the problem?
Time is made up and does not matter. I suggest that we start next session where we've just all met up. We've done our various errands and.
The problem is that one of you is going to leave the city and walk there, and the other ones are on a skiff.
No.
I think there's like also something really funny about Ost in this party, which is that he's old-fashioned, and that's basically like the bulk of his character. He's also the only elf in and among a cat person, a robot person, a turtle person, and a rabbit person.
And a dragon.
Yeah, you know, back when I was a youngin', my class would be elf.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Love that dirty boy, buddy.
Oh, this is going to be quite interesting. This is going to be interesting.